This week we have Saturn, ruler of Karmic Lessons, and Mercury, the messenger, both turning back to direct motion. All of this, an empowered moment and more in my new intuitive energy forecast for the week of Monday, November 24th through Sunday, November 30th, 2025. Stay tuned. Hello everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, starseed astrologer and spiritual messenger, here to do your weekly intuitive energy forecast. For this week's reading, we're going to be using the Tarot of Dreams by Ciro Marchetti. This is going to be the main message for everyone. Your special message card this week, depending on your stone of choice, is going to be coming from the Gateway of Light Activation deck by Kyle Gray. So before we get into the astrology of the week or looking at our stones of choice, let's go ahead, close our eyes, take a deep breath, and do an empowered moment. So as you take that deep breath and exhale, you're going to allow all of the muscles in your body to relax. Releasing and letting go of all that you no longer need, including all thoughts and perceptions, perspectives in the mind, just clearing your mind and allowing yourself to be in the present moment, in the here and now. Focus on your breathing as you take in a couple of deep breaths and exhale, relaxing your body even more each time you release your out breath. And this week, we're focusing on potential forward movement, or at least the beginning of that forward movement on an energetic level. We've done a lot of healing work in this past year, 2025, and although the year is not over yet, we're starting to take what we've restructured on the inner level and allowing it to be projected onto the outer level. The restructuring of your emotional and mental and spiritual bodies is just feeling the inklings of wanting to be expressed outward. So consider in contemplation and self-reflection how that looks for you. What new energies within yourself do you wish to bring out into the open? What new gifts and talents do you wish to express outwardly? What new situations and circumstances do you wish to create and manifest? So hold those visions firmly in your mind. It's the seeding process of those new energies, those new visions, the new belief systems you hold within yourself, and about your life. So take in a deep conscious breath and breathe life into that new energy, the energy that you're seeding your reality with. Breathe in, exhale out with trust and faith that it will be made manifest in divine timing. And when you feel ready, you can open your eyes, returning to this time and place and space. And let's go ahead and take a look at our stones of choice for this week. So our first stone of choice, and these are all special intention pendants that are available on my website. We're getting towards the holiday season. You might want to buy a gift for somebody, or maybe even gift yourself for the holidays. Now this one, if I can pick it up here, this one is a ruby, and it's a little polished ruby. So it's not raw. I did have, I don't know if I still have it, but I did have a raw ruby that was bigger, but this is a little polished ruby. And this would be, as far as a pendant, for someone that likes those delicate little pendants. It's small. It's sort of like the pendant that I'm wearing here today. It's a smaller, delicate pendant, but this ruby is wrapped in gold wire. And it's Reiki charged with the vibration of the number 2, number of relationships and equality. The energies of both Libra and Scorpio, signs that rule partnership and passion. It has infused into it the water element for feelings, feeling our feelings and emotions, intuition, and deeper connections. And this one has Archangel Chamuel's energy infused into it, the archangel who assists one in finding their soulmate or healing an existing soulmate relationship. And it also has Venus Aphrodite, goddess of love, beauty, and merging with another. Okay, and then pendant number 2. This is a smaller, delicate pendant, a little bit bigger than the ruby, but this is amber. So the amber is wrapped in silver wire and Reiki charged with the vibration of the number 8, number of success in business, career, and finances. The energies of the planet Pluto, planet of taking back and or owning our own spiritual power. The activation of the solar plexus chakra for courage, confidence, and willpower. And this one has the energies of Archangel Michael infused into it for protection, releasing of lower energies, and moving forward on the next step of one's destiny path. And then our last pendant of choice or stone of choice, this one is garnet. And it's a deep, dark red colored stone. In fact, it's so deep, dark red, it almost looks like it's black or brown, doesn't it? But this garnet is wrapped in gold wire and Reiki charged with the vibration of the number 2, again, number of relationships and equality. I think it has the same, I didn't know that, intentions of the ruby. The energies of Libra and Scorpio, sign that rules partnership and passion, water element for feelings, emotions, intuition, and deep connections. Archangel Chamuel's energy to help one find a soulmate or healing of an existing soulmate relationship, and Venus Aphrodite, goddess of love, beauty, and merging with another. So I didn't realize that when I chose these, but you need to, if you're choosing between these two, you can see that the ruby is this little delicate ruby and the garnet's a little bit bigger. All right, so we got the ruby, little red ruby. We've got the amber. Okay, and then we've got the garnet. All right, so let's put those aside and let's talk about the astrology for the week. A lot of energy going on this week, and a lot of it has to do with Scorpio energy. So the sun has already transitioned into Sagittarius last week, but we still have Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, Venus is in Scorpio, and a good deal of what we're talking about today has to do with those two planets. So starting on Monday, the 24th of November, we start out with Mercury, the messenger, the planet that rules the mental realm or the mental body with thoughts, ideas, perceptions, perspectives, communications, currently retrograde in Scorpio, mysterious Scorpio that likes to dig down deep and understand what's beneath the surface, especially when it comes to our psyche and our subconscious. And on Monday, Mercury retrograde in Scorpio is in a quincunx or inconjunct, either term is appropriate, to Chiron, the wounded healer, who is also retrograde right now in Aries. So Chiron is where our biggest past life wound is. Right now it's in Aries, bringing up the wounds of our sense of self, our self-identity, self-confidence, courage, leadership ability, independence. And Mercury retrograde in Scorpio is having us again dig down deep into our subconscious to understand where these wounds are coming from. Do they come from a previous circumstance in our lives? Does it come from childhood and our upbringing? Does it come from past lives? And most likely it does come from past lives. It doesn't mean you have to know what those past lives are, but still in all, Chiron usually deals with some past life wounds here. And then also on Monday, Mercury retrograde in Scorpio is going to be in a conjunction or connecting to Venus, the ruler of love, relationships. She also rules personal resources like money and finances. And she also rules values and self-worth and how she values herself. So Venus is in Scorpio, as well as Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. That's a lot of intense Scorpio energy. And Scorpio also is about personal power and either being disempowered or empowered or taking back your power or owning your power. So I think that with Mercury dealing with communication, although it's retrograde and in Scorpio, this might be self-communication. It could express outward with other people in our lives in different circumstances, situations, or relationships. But I feel like this is us readjusting our own inner dialogue right now and taking back our power from those old stories and those old karmic lessons and those old situations from the past that left us feeling disempowered, including the ones in relationships, because we're talking about Venus here, or the ones talking about money and finances, because Venus rules that as well. On Tuesday, the 25th, Venus in Scorpio is now the one that is in this quincunx or inconjunct to Chiron in Aries. And, again, the inconjunct or the quincunx, where Mercury on Monday connected with Chiron in that way. Now on Tuesday, Venus is connecting with Chiron in that way. It's a difficult aspect. We have to make some adjustments. So we might need to make some adjustments in our relationships. We might need to make some adjustments with our money and finances. We might need to make adjustments with our values or our sense of self-worth. And again, it's relating to these wounds of lack of self-confidence or lack of self-esteem or lack of self-identity because of Chiron being in Aries right now. On Wednesday, the 26th, Venus, ruler of love, relationships, money, and finances in Scorpio, is going to be making a positive connection to Jupiter, ruler of our belief systems, who's retrograde right now in Cancer, and also a positive aspect to Saturn, the ruler of Karmic Lessons, or the teacher of Karmic Lessons, who also is retrograde until tomorrow, in the water sign of Pisces. So Venus is in water sign Scorpio, Jupiter is retrograde in water sign Cancer, Saturn is retrograde in water sign Pisces. It's creating what's called a grand trine, which is a very harmonious aspect. But we're talking about the water signs here. So it's all about our feelings, our emotions, our intuitions, our sense of self-care, our healing abilities, including the way we heal ourselves or send healing to ourselves. Now, Cancer, where Jupiter is, rules home and family. So there might be some home and family matters that come up for, for contemplation, where there's probably some circumstances in the home and family, or at the very least within patterns that we learned in our younger years within the home and family. And then Saturn being in Pisces. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. Saturn deals with karmic lessons. And Saturn's, been here for a couple of years now. So it's been this kind of clearing, almost like this very long final clearing of old stories and old lessons. And he's giving us a good long time to allow us to move through that, to let go of what we no longer need. Now, Scorpio, again, where Venus is all about our sense of power and empowerment. And it's all about, again, self-reflection and psychological analysis and trying to understand the mysteries of life, but also the mysteries of our own psyche, our shadow side. Scorpio deals with the shadow side. This is a positive grand trine. So with Venus to Jupiter to Saturn, it's a positive, but we have to really kind of allow ourselves to go a little bit more deeply into our emotional bodies and our emotional natures to gain the greatest healing and releasing that we can. Jupiter wants to expand us into new horizons. Saturn says, oh, have a little bit of patience. There's still a little bit of healing work to do. And Venus in Scorpio is saying, take back your power from these old stories, situations, and circumstances so that you can expand into new horizons and move forward. On Thursday, the 27th, this is when Saturn, the great teacher of karmic lessons, turns back to direct motion at 25 degrees of Pisces. Now, Saturn can deal with limitations, restrictions, insecurities, but it's also about restructuring, grounding, and manifestation. So as Saturn has been retrograde for a while, we've been restructuring our inner selves, our inner kind of energetic bodies. So there's been a restructuring process on this inner internal level. And also, again, a need to really take responsibility because Saturn rules responsibility. So Saturn is asking us to take responsibility for our past decisions and choices in our lives over the years and to make new and better decisions and new and better choices. Now that it's turning back to direct motion, we can start to see the restructuring process happen on the external outer level within situations and circumstances, with our goals, within our relationships, within ourselves, where we're really grounded in who we have now become through all the healing that we've done over the past weeks and months, or even we could say this whole entire year. On Saturday, the 29th, Mercury turns back to direct motion after his retrograde cycle at 20 degrees of Scorpio. So a few weeks ago, Mercury turned retrograde. It was at 6 degrees of Sagittarius, but it retrograded back into Scorpio. So we were going within with the Mercury mindset, the thoughts, the perceptions, kind of going within and looking at what are our belief systems, Sagittarius. What are our philosophies of life, Sagittarius. What new horizons do we want to expand into and how do we get there, which is Sagittarius. With it retrograding back into Scorpio, it was internalizing again this energy of the deep psychological introspective process that we've needed to go through to look at our own shadow side, our own stories, our own, where we're giving away our power, and not only to situations or people where we're giving away our power, but how with our own mindset and belief systems, we're giving away our power. So now Mercury's turning direct. Now all that's happened over the last 3, 4, 5 weeks while Mercury was in its shadow and then retrograde, we're now able to kind of move forward mentally. We're able to feel a little bit more grounded mentally. We're able to really know our inner truth and hold our inner power on a mental body level so that we can move forward and externalize through communication and new ideas and writing out or speaking our goals and ambitions out loud, networking, communication. All of this is going to start now moving forward in a more beneficial way. Also on Saturday, the 29th, we're back to Venus in Scorpio. Venus, remember, rules love, relationships, money, finances, values, and self-worth. And she's going to be, actually, yes, on the 29th, she's going to be opposing Uranus. Uranus is the great awakener. Uranus brings the unexpected. Uranus brings sudden and unexpected redirections or change. And Uranus is retrograde right now in Taurus. So look for some sort of maybe inner change. It could also be an outer change, but Uranus is retrograde. So we also have to include that there might be an inner change going on where we really start to value ourselves with Venus and Scorpio. And we really take back our power from these old situations and circumstances. This is kind of a theme for this week. And then on Sunday, the 30th, Venus and Scorpio is now in a positive trine to Neptune, who is retrograde in Pisces. So we've got a lot of like retrograde stuff happening this week. So again, this internalized process of really doing the healing work, right? Really focusing on immersing ourselves in the healing work of the shadow, because it's a lot of Scorpio energy here. But with the trine to Neptune, I feel like we not only feel now empowered with Venus and Scorpio and all the different connections that she's made all week, but now we can feel also magical. I feel like we have this confidence within ourselves as we're owning our power, and that's going to create some magic in our lives. So focus your energies in the most positive way to create some magic and miracles. And then to round out the week after that, on Sunday the 30th, Venus finally moves out of Scorpio and she moves into Sagittarius, the sign of the Archer, and this is a fire sign, so it's not as internalized emotionally as Scorpio was. Now it's externalized as far as inspiration and passion and new horizons and freedom and liberation. And Venus is going to be in Sagittarius until December 24th, the day before Christmas. As far as relationships and love, Venus is a little bit more independent when it comes to being in Sagittarius. In money and finances, she might be prone to make larger than life purchases. So watch your wallet during this time, and maybe try to take a step back when you're spending for the holidays and say, do I really need to spend this much? Do I really need that? Or does the other person I'm buying that for, is that really what they're going to enjoy and what they're going to value? When it comes to sense of self-worth and how she values herself as the divine feminine, I feel like she's going to be much more confident and expressive in a, a fiery, passionate way. So this bodes well. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the messages from our angels and guides. So the first card is the Five of Cups. And the Five of Cups here is ruled in this deck, because this particular deck that I'm using has astrological planets and signs of the zodiac that rule a lot of the cards. Now, this is Mars in Scorpio. Now, although Mars is not in Scorpio this week, we do have a lot of Scorpio energy. Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, turns direct in Scorpio. Venus is in Scorpio. So this Scorpio influence is pronounced right now. And Mars is the planet of energy and forward movement. So he kind of moves forward in the energy of whatever sign he happens to be in. So this is saying moving forward and doing your shadow work. Dive down deep like the warrior. Okay, so we're going to be a warrior to empower ourselves. Now the Five of Cups itself, you can see by kind of looking at the image on the card, this woman, she's got 3 cups in front of her that are toppled over. These are old emotional wounds. Maybe they deal with relationship matters in some way, shape, or form. And she's got 2 cups, though, that are standing up, but they're behind her. And she's not looking behind her. She's not turning around and seeing what possibilities and opportunities are showing themselves to her. She's focused on what has spilled, what has toppled over, and she's in despair, and she's depressed, and she's upset, and she's just feeling not well emotionally, right? She's almost feeling like she wants to maybe give up, or why is this happening, or what can I do about it, or I don't feel like I can do anything, when all she really needs to do is turn around and look at the 2 cups that are behind her. So there is hope, there is joy, there is passion, there is the possibility of relationship if this is about relationship for you, because with 2 cups standing, if we were to look at the Two of Cups, the Two of Cups is about positive relationship, a connection in a relationship that brings joy and balance and harmony. So again, if this does deal with relationships, look around, look at the possibilities, look at the opportunities. If this deals with money and finances, again, look around. Don't put all your eggs in one basket here, because this basket looks like the eggs are crushed. We want to look, what else is there? What else can I do to create financial security in my life? If this is about how you value yourself, we don't want to look at past mistakes and dwell on those, or past choices. There is no mistakes, actually, right? There's just choices. And all those choices lead to experience. And some of those experiences lead to us needing to heal an aspect of ourselves. But don't focus on those challenges, right? Look towards the future. Look around towards what potential there is waiting for you if you just open your energy body up, if you just open yourself up and open up your heart chakra and take back your power from all of these challenging emotions that you might be feeling right now. All right, let's look at the next card. Okay, the next card is Major Arcana 20, and it's the Judgment card. And I really feel like all this month of November, it just feels like, as I reflect on doing the monthly reading and maybe one of the other weekly readings for this month, I feel like I've gotten the Judgment card a couple of times. So this potentially could be the third time in this month of November that I've pulled Judgment. And it might have been from different decks as well. But this is the second to the last of the major arcana. We're getting close to the ending, completion of a cycle, because the next card, the World card, is the completion. It's the last major arcana. There's a closing out of an old cycle. So we're almost there. We're getting there. This one is ruled by Pluto. This is the glyph for Pluto. And Pluto is about death and rebirth, transformation, regeneration, transition. And so we're needing to look at this transformation process within ourselves, within our lives. We're nearing the end of the year. Something's coming to a close and completion. A lot of the healing process that we've gone through, because this is an alchemical process of death and rebirth. Some of this situation of this year has been bringing up old past life energies for us. Past life wounds, past life situations that we needed to balance out the karma or learn the lesson or heal the relationship or whatever it might have been. Now, in the typical Judgment card in the Rider-Waite Tarot, there would be Archangel Gabriel blowing his horn, calling the soul to attention. And we do have angel wings here, and we've got the face of an angel here, so we can assume this is Archangel Gabriel saying, hey, I've got a message for you. I'm calling the soul to attention, to pay attention in these last few weeks of the year, to do whatever healing, releasing, letting go, death and rebirth process is necessary, so that once we get into December, once we get towards the end of the year, that you can complete this karmic cycle. You can complete what situations and circumstances you no longer need to carry forward with you as we enter a New Year's energy. So tap into that inner part, that inner essence of your soul, and call in your angels, guides, master guides, and teachers of the highest vibration of light. Connect to source, connect to your higher self, and allow this last bit of healing to take place. Do not judge yourself. And if you can, try not to judge other people, right? So no judging yourself for the situations and circumstances you've been in your life or in this past year. And try not to judge other people, because they're also just souls that have contracted with you to play out certain situations and circumstances for both of you to learn certain karmic lessons and to heal certain karmic lessons so that you can move forward, that you can expand your etheric wings and ascend and evolve into a new version of yourself and into a new situation and circumstance. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and put that down. Let's look at the last card. The last card is Major Arcana 11. This is the Justice card. It's ruled by Libra. Libra, the scales of justice. And the justice person here is holding the scales of justice. And in this version, the scales are nice and equal. So this is boding well that whatever we're clearing or trying to be aware of or understand within ourselves and within the circumstances in our lives, that equilibrium will be attained. that there is a balancing out of the karmic scales, that justice will be done, that we will have that equality, harmony, peace, balance that we're looking for. And Libra is the sign of relationships. So again, this could be about relationship matters. It doesn't necessarily mean that if there was relationship challenges over the past year, that there's going to be peace, balance, and harmony within that relationship. But there's going to be peace, balance, and harmony within yourself to know what is in your highest and best interest as far as relationship. And this could be a romantic, a friendship, a family, could even be coworker type of relationship, any kind of one-on-one relationship. Are you giving more than you're receiving? Are you receiving more than you're giving? Is there equal give and take? Is there compromise? Is there cooperation, equally speaking, for the most part, in your relationships? Or do you have some sort of karmic pattern there, which has you giving, 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 and then ending up depleted and not receiving back all that you're giving out? This is saying we need to look at setting better boundaries, or we need to look at magnetizing to us those kinds of relationships and people that are going to be more of a equal give and take in our lives. Someone who's going to be supportive of us just as much as we're supportive of them. So again, I feel like the fact that these scales are balanced is a positive indication that you will get there. So let's go ahead and take a look at the message from your angels and guides. I was going to say our, and it is our angels and guides, but your angels and guides regarding your stone of choice. So the first pendant of choice was the ruby. So special message for the ruby people, ruby people, ruby people. This one's calling my attention when I open my eyes. And we've got, I love this, star gathering. And it says stars aligned, remembering home, and soul family. So there's definitely something in the cosmos. The energetics are aligning for you. There's an alignment going on spiritually speaking as we close out this year and move into next year. You could almost look at this like, okay, this is like this year of 2025 and we've got the souls aligning and we got this magical energy aligning from the cosmos reaching out to this side, which is 2026. And it hasn't landed yet, right? Those stars have aligned, but they haven't landed over here yet. But there's something magical that's happening. You are aligning. And I feel like the whole idea of stars gathering and soul family, you're going to be meeting your soul tribe. You're going to be meeting new people in 2026. Maybe even before the end of this year. But definitely as we move into the new year, I feel like they're saying the next couple of years. So the next 2 years, we're going to be meeting our soul tribe, those people that are in alignment with our beliefs, our goals, our ambitions, just our energies in general, right? People that get us, people that are of the idea of equal give and take in relationships. And remembering home within yourself, remembering home out there in the cosmos. This planet Earth is a stopping point, right? We have perhaps lived many incarnations here. Some of you may not be coming back into the incarnational cycle here. I'm sure a lot of you are saying, I don't want to come back. But the fact of the matter is that this is not your home. I mean, it is for now, right? It's like living in one apartment and then moving to another and then moving to a house or whatever. It's like it's a residence. So we're in this human body, which is the residence for our soul. We're on this planet Earth, which is our temporary residence. But our permanent residence is out here in the cosmos. It's being one with all that is. It's being part of the intricacy of the universe, source God, great spirit, all that is, whatever you want to call that energy out there. I mean, I shouldn't say out there because it's within us too, right? But that energy. So I love this card. Love this card. All right. Everything's aligning for you. All right. So let's go ahead and look at the special message for the Amber people. Amber. Okay, I got to get my mind in the game here. My mind started wandering off. Okay, so for Amber people, special message for Amber. Special message for this week for Amber. Okay, this one is in the middle and it's calling my attention, so I'm going to pull it on out of there. Temple of Truth. Awesome. So the Temple of Truth card says throat chakra. So remember, this is all about Scorpio personal power and taking back our power. We might need to have either a conversation with someone to take back our power, which could include, again, work or career situations, as well as family, friends, and romantic significant others. But I also feel like with that throat chakra message, this could be us just stating that we're taking back our power. So it may be about communication with another. It may just be communication for yourself to yourself, where it's like, I'm taking back my power from all, lower emotions. I'm taking back my power from all challenging stories and belief systems. I'm taking back my power from this particular situation or this particular relationship. And then it says authenticity and self-expression. So when you speak your truth. Be your authentic self. Don't sugarcoat things necessarily. I mean, don't be not nice. I mean, try to be nice, but try to be authentic when you're speaking your truth. And show your authentic self. Don't wear a mask. You want to just say, yeah, this is who I am. This is what I do. And if that person doesn't like it or agree with it, that's okay, because then they're not a part of your particular soul tribe. But you want to make sure that you're being authentic. And then the last phrase here of self-expression goes back to throat chakra and speaking your truth. And not even just speaking your truth, but expressing can be through your creativity, your creative projects, your creative gifts. You want to express your truth through different ways, right? Through speaking, teaching, writing, building, manifesting, networking, whatever expression of your truth comes into play here. But be the temple of truth. And then the last stone of choice was the garnet. Let's give this a little shuffle and ask for the special message for the garnet people for this week. Okay, special message for garnet. This one's calling my attention right here. Ooh, Toth. I always get mixed up how to say that. Toth light codes. I think it's Toth. I know some people say Toth or Thoth, but anyway, Toth light codes. And it says light initiation, great teacher awakening, and divine magic. So Toth was a scribe. So he wrote down a lot of information, a magical scribe. So this has kind of a similar idea with, expressing your truth in a way. We've got that there's a light initiation going on. This is almost like a download of light codes or a download of information or insights or an activation that's occurring for you right now as we're nearing the end of the year. This magical, divine magic kind of activation of these light codes. And great teacher awakening. There's something inside of you that's awakening. Whatever your gift, talent is, whatever your purpose or mission is here on this planet, or the next mission, maybe, several missions, in our lives. So whatever the next thing is for you, it's awakening. It's coming online. It's being activated. And you might not have all of the answers this week is what I'm hearing, but I feel like you'll have a majority of the knowingness by the end of the year. It may not be able to be implemented until the beginning of next year, or the start of it implemented by the beginning of next year, because it is the holiday season. You may still, though, be able to plant seeds and start initiating something here, but you have information to share. Great Teacher Awakening is about you're here to, again, speak, teach, write, share some sort of information, educate the masses in some way, shape, or form in your way, through your talents, through your gifts, channeling, again, divine magic and wisdom with these Thoth light codes. All right, everybody, I hope you have enjoyed this weekly reading. We're getting close to the monthly December reading too. So that should be out shortly if it's not already as you watch this. So make sure to kind of be on the lookout for the December intuitive energy forecast. Sending you all lots of love and light. For those of you in the United States, happy Gratitude Day. Happy Gratitude Day or Happy Appreciation Day. Appreciate one another and have gratitude for who you are and for one another and what you're here doing on this planet. And happy holidays as we're moving into December, although I'll probably say that more than once in the next few readings. But sending you all lots of love and light, many, many blessings as well. Namaste.